Hello, hello, and welcome to Velosio Viewpoint Live on this beautiful Wednesday. My name is Michael DeGeeter, coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. I'm here as your host to bring you all the hottest topics in cloud, digital transformation, IT, security, ERP, CRM, and so much more. Before I forget, don't forget to like and subscribe wherever those buttons are on YouTube Live or LinkedIn Live and get notifications to all things Velosio, but also to get notified when we go live during our every other week live chats here on LinkedIn and YouTube Live. Now, today we are talking all things Copilot. Copilot Studio, I should say. And I'm going to bring Aaron Moon on in a second, one of our consulting managers. I'm actually calling live from the Dynamic Communities Summit Roadshow in Chicago, Illinois, or just a little bit outside of Chicago, Illinois. And the keynote this morning was all about Copilot, understanding its foundation and how it can be used and accessed in all of these different applications that we have. Now, a lot of these customizations come from what's now called Copilot Studio. Today, I have Aaron joining us to talk a little bit more about that. So you can even see I got my name badge here and everything.
Oh, nice.
The hottest topics are Copilot. So it's at every user group. Everyone's talking about it. The guy actually, he said, has anyone not heard of Copilot? No one raised their hand.
That's right. It's all over the place these days.
They're like, Microsoft, you're doing a really good job. So they are. That's for sure. Aaron, thanks for joining us. Where are you calling from? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike. I'm in Atlanta, so a little outside of Atlanta, but just calling from my home office. And I'm excited to be here and chatting with you about Copilot. It's hard to get away from it these days. Microsoft's talking about it everywhere.
Yeah, it was in a Super Bowl commercial. I didn't even know that, actually, but
they talked about that too. Yeah.
Well, really cool stuff. Let's jump right into it, and let's talk about Copilot Studio specifically here, and let's just understand the foundation. What is it?
Yeah, sure. So Copilot Studio is one of Microsoft's low-code tools, and it's for maintaining and creating Copilots. And maybe just to backtrack a little bit, what's a Copilot? A Copilot that's AI powered and is based on these large language models that we have today, as well as other sources of information, and it can conversate with you and help you to get things done. So Copilot Studio is a way to customize those Copilots, build your own Copilots, and really bring that conversational capability to you and to your customers.
So how does Microsoft Studio integrate with existing Microsoft tools or platforms, Copilot Studio?
Yeah, so it's part of Microsoft's suite of tools, of low-code tools, and it's natively got connections into everything Microsoft that you might already be using, right? So Copilot has access to, can have access, I should say, to your files, to your data, your databases, your different Microsoft tools and applications that you're using. And there's lots of connectors to other things that are not Microsoft as well.
Sure. Can you walk us through some of the key features of Copilot Studio?
Sure. So obviously it's kind of that conversational chat experience, right? First of all, so think about kind of that generic capability that like ChatGPT started with. This we can conversate with a chat bot or a chat experience that's can talk like a person, that has knowledge of our language, and so you can do things like ask it to summarize something, right? And or just kind of answer questions that are more generic things it's learned from just having general knowledge, right? General conversational knowledge. But then you can start to infuse different things into it. So knowledge about your business, your environment, right? This Copilots and Copilot Studio are living inside of your organization, inside of your Microsoft tenant. And so you start to give it access to, say, your documents that you have. If it's some kind of employee handbook, maybe it can go out and grab something from that, or maybe even accessing a database, a system, to perform an action of some kind, or just kind of it's got some really interesting capabilities to generate kind of an answer using all of those sources that you've provided to it. So it can really begin to feel like you're talking to another person who's just got a lot of knowledge and is out there searching and finding the answers that you need.
So how can sort of the small and medium-sized SMB businesses benefit from implementing something like Copilot Studio?
Yeah, so I think we're really just starting to scratch the surface of, what are the use cases and where's the value. But things that I'm seeing is, again, access to your documents, your data that your company has can really help your employees to quickly get answers that they need. So you think about that employee handbook example, right? What's the PTO policy, or what are the holidays that we're following this year? Kind of questions, and going out and finding that can help to reduce the number of questions and back and forth that otherwise might have to happen person to person. And then we can also think about all of the kind of time saving capabilities when you look at Copilot inside of your different applications like Word, Excel, helping you to do things quicker, and then helping your customers. So if there's things that your customers are asking for, providing them a Copilot experience that can answer the questions that otherwise might have required a phone call, is a really big piece of this potential capability.
Sure. I'm just thinking businesses have so much data in so many different places. Have you ever wondered to yourself, what is this? There was this one thing from like a year ago, and I remember vague details about it. Just to be able to give Copilot something that's like that vague detail, and then, oh, there it is, exactly the answer that I needed.
Right.
I'm thinking even about IT help desk. There's so many knowledge-based articles and things that we have to
Yeah.
remember about our computers and hardware that we use at our individual company. Being able to get those answers quickly would be very, very nice. It saves a lot of time from HR to IT to all departments.
Yeah. Well, and even just think, once you get to like actually connecting to different business systems, even
Right.
think about asking Copilot, what's my current sales pipeline, and it being able to go and pull that live data for you and just tell you.
Sure.
So it's just, yeah, the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely. So what are some of the key differences between Copilot Studio and other AI powered tools, generative AI tools that are now in the market? And I know there's tons of them. What kind
Yeah.
of is the big standout for Copilot Studio?
Yeah, so the landscape in the market is obviously exploding, right? Everybody's coming out with their different AI powered tools. I think the differentiator for Microsoft and with Copilot is the fact that it is contained and plugged into your existing Microsoft ecosystem. So
Right.
when you think about a chat GPT, kind of the first thing, that broke out, it's a standalone kind of tool that you can go and interact with, and there's different things you can plug into it. But Copilot is Microsoft really taking that kind of core functionality, but saying, hey, now this is inside of your Microsoft environment, and it can securely, safely, following all the right rules, interact with your business data and have that context to your everyday work, and the things that you're touching and trying to ask questions about. So I think that's really the biggest differentiator, with Copilot, is that it's got these native connections into
Yeah.
those tools, as well as I mentioned early on. But there's, Microsoft also has connectors that we've built out have been built out for other tools, like the Power Platform suite of tools that apply here. And so you say, yes, we can connect to Microsoft, but we've got hundreds of Microsoft built connectors to other things that allow us to, again, do that secure kind of query and action on different data elements and systems.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Yeah, the generative AI experience right now is it's ChatGPT is taking all of this huge public knowledge, right? Things that are on the web, but your company's data, which is secure to your company, is not going to be on the web. So you can't ask those
That's
things
right.
anywhere. What something specific about what your company needs. And I know that Microsoft puts billions, I think, of dollars into security and making sure that that data and that information stays within that Copilot Studio
That's
system as
correct.
well.
Yeah, and another big piece of that is the reliability of the response. So I think one of the big concerns people, have when if you just go chat with Chat GPT is you're going to get an answer pulled from the internet, and that answer may or may not be accurate.
Right.
Um, I can go and ask it some questions about kind of technical things that I may do on a day to day. And I can look at those answers and go, that's not quite right.
Yeah.
But it's only because I'm an expert in that particular area and I'm asking a hard question. Um, I can see that it's not right. But if you're not an expert and you read that, you might just assume that it's right. So there's that kind of concern with AI and with copilots. And I think what Microsoft's doing as well is taking a very conservative stance in terms of when they are sending back a response, they're trying to ground that response in your company's data, your information. And so it's much more about trying to give you something that's reliable than it is just do a internet search and provide you whatever comes back.
Right.
So I think that's a big piece of this as well.
Well, and that's why they call it Copilot. And it's such a good name that Microsoft went for because it may not always give you the most accurate data, but you're a co-pilot. So it's got to be you, the person,
The
and then the
pilot,
AI, the
right?
pilot actually working to
Yep.
make sure that it's accurate, but also to do those grounding things, to teach it, to let it learn. I think that was a good call on Microsoft's end to call it that because it truly is. It's not necessarily replacing, but it is acting as something that that needs to be
It's,
verified, that needs to be looked at.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yep. It's a person to bounce ideas off of in many ways, right?
Exactly. Yes, which we all love. Were there any other, just to kind of round it out, are there any other productivity processes that you think businesses can leverage Copilot Studio for?
Yeah, I think we've kind of touched on
Right.
a number of different things here, but it's thinking about what your employees are doing day to day, and what are the things that they questions that they need answers to. Can we provide a way to get them that answer faster? Can we help to kind of streamline the manual tasks? So you think about drafting emails, having Copilot write the email for you, and then you tweak it, or summarizing meetings. There's just so many different kind of things that can help your employees and their productivity. Again, when you get to talking about, hey, can this actually do something in my business system, in my business application, like tell me what my sales pipeline is, that starts opening up doors of maybe I can just kind of talk with this Copilot and it can do things so that I don't need to go manually type in information. Um, so I think there's just a world there that we're just starting to get into. That's going to be really exciting to see how that unfolds in the next few years.
Yeah, and you learn those new processes and use cases from using it and experiencing it and figuring out where it works for you. And that's the
That's
beauty of
right.
Copilot Studio, where you can really make those types of customizations.
That's right. Yeah. So I would encourage, everybody to go out and explore Copilot. And there's lots of different versions that Micro has sitting around helping with different products. But then once you get to that point where, you want to customize a little bit, you've kind of found something um, that maybe one of the standard kind of copilots that Microsoft has for free or available in different areas isn't quite doing what you want, then Copilot Studio is that place that you go to customize, to build actions, and you can build things that are then reusable, across your organization. So it's really going to be the place where we work to fine tune what Copilot's able to do for you and your organization.
Sure. Well, Aaron, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thanks for being here on
Yeah,
Viewpoint Live with us. Hope you'll come back soon.
I'd love to.
Appreciate it. Thanks everyone for joining us at this Viewpoint Live. Make sure to like and subscribe on our LinkedIn and YouTube channels, and we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.